Sedans feel like a bit of a rarity these days with so many SUVs and crossovers out there on the road, but we've snagged one for today's video. This is the Volvo S60, which is the smaller of the two sedans that Volvo still makes. It's available in mild hybrid, so basically gas-powered, and plug-in hybrid form. We have the S60 Recharge today, so the plug-in hybrid version. Now, the S60 got a mid-cycle refresh for 2023 with some subtle styling updates and a new trim lineup. The base trim is now called Core, the middle trim is Plus, and the top trim is Ultimate. That's what's behind me today. So we're going to talk about how the S60 Recharge compares to the gas-powered S60 and to its competition, and of course we're going to talk about what might make this a good fit for you or not. If that sounds useful, please make sure you're subscribed to this channel. With that refresh, the S60 got a new bumper design and a new dark grille look. Now, I think it's a really good looking car, and especially with that black edition package, it almost verges on menacing. A friend of mine described it as macho. I can see it, but personally, I'm gonna go with handsome. From the side, I get maybe slightly old school vibes, but really only in that the styling back here so clearly references very well established Volvo design language, which I would say is a good thing. Core and Plus trims come with 18-inch alloy wheels, but you can get 19-inch if you prefer, and the Ultimate trim comes standard with 19-inch wheels. I really don't like the default design of the 19-inch wheels. It looks very cyber to me, and I don't think that it does this particular car any favors. But this 5 triple spoke 19-inch wheel design that comes with the Black Edition package, this I really like, and I think it looks great. The lighting signature is very distinctive Volvo. We've got that Thor's hammer look to the daytime running lights. These taillights probably look a little familiar. They're strong looking, but also refined, which I think of as a hallmark of the brand. Inside this trunk, we've got 11.6 cubic feet of cargo space, which is a little small for the class. So if you need more space, you might consider the V60 hybrid station wagon. Be aware, though, that that is $15,000 to $20,000 more. The other option you might have is to spring for the Plus or Ultimate trim. That'll get you the folding rear seats and headrests, which will at least make it easier to access the full volume of the cabin. The S60's interior is really nice in an understated kind of way. It's not in your face with a lot of quilting and lights. It's just comfortable and high quality, the kind of thing that you don't really notice. It kind of flies under the radar because you just don't have any complaints about it. The materials feel nice, especially for the price, very reasonable. I can't actually speak to the synthetic leather that's standard on the Core trim, but I can tell you that I really like this leather and textile combo that we've got as part of the Black Edition package. I just have to keep my coffee away from the textile parts. Dual zone climate control, a panoramic sunroof, ambient interior lighting, and heated front seats are all standard on the Core trim of the S60 Recharge, and that interior lighting becomes more advanced with higher trims. On this Ultimate trim, we have the Auraforce crystal gear shifter, plus power cushion extension and 4-way power lumbar adjustment. There are 37.4 inches of headroom up here in the front row and 37.2 for people in the back seats. Now, I'm told that that does feel like plenty of headroom for a passenger over 6 feet tall, partly because you can get these chairs pretty low. Plenty of vehicles that we think of as gas-powered are actually mild hybrids these days, and the same is true of the Volvo S60. So the regular old 2023 S60 comes with Volvo's B5 powertrain, which is a 4-cylinder engine combined with a 48-volt mild hybrid system. But this one, the S60 Recharge, this comes with Volvo's T8 powertrain, so that combines a turbocharged 4-cylinder engine with a 14.9 kilowatt-hour battery. Total system output is 455 horsepower and 523 pound-feet of torque. Now, the S60 Recharge has standard all-wheel drive. It can do 0 to 60 in 4.3 seconds. It can tow up to 2,000 pounds, and it gets up to 41 miles of all-electric range in pure driving mode. So let's talk about those drive modes. It has 4 of them: pure, hybrid, power, and constant all-wheel drive. So that means that if you've got sufficient battery charge, you can operate the S60 Recharge as an EV, as a hybrid, or as a sports car, but you're gonna have to go into this menu here to change drive modes. There's no dial for that, which is a little disappointing. I was surprised at how light the steering is. It's not a bad thing, it's just not what I've come to expect from a European sports sedan. It makes the car feel very nimble, which it is. Acceleration is really good. If you put your foot all the way to the floor, it doesn't feel super dramatic, head pushed back against the headrest, but it goes. I don't know how I know that. If you're just trying to get around people in traffic, it's very nimble, it's zippy, peppy, feels great. And pedal feel is quite intuitive, not super grabby like you're gonna get in a BMW. The ride is nice, it's firm, but it's not so stiff as to be uncomfortable, and it is nice and quiet in here. The engine note does not sound half bad when you can hear it, but you're not gonna hear much of it from inside the cabin. If you currently drive a pretty modern vehicle, you might find the Volvo's infotainment system to be a little bit disappointing. I did. It's just pretty basic, and I guess, as it turns out, subtlety is not something that I'm looking for in tech. Sometimes you learn something new about yourself when you're adapting to a new car every week. This system is Google-based, which does mean that you get on board Google Play, Google Assistant, and Google Maps. That last one would be key for me, but since this does also have wired Apple CarPlay support, I'm probably just going to be using CarPlay all the time anyway, so the infotainment is not going to make that big of a difference to me as a user, unless I want to do something like switch drive modes. 4 USB-C ports are standard, and so is an 11-speaker sound system, although do note that it's a 10-speaker sound system with the B5 powertrain. The Ultimate trim comes with a 14-speaker Harman Kardon premium audio system. It's also possible to upgrade to a 15-speaker Bowers & Wilkins sound system. That's what we have today. That's an extra charge of $3,200. Standard safety features include forward collision warning, automatic emergency braking, lane departure warning, rear parking sensors, traffic sign recognition, and blind spot monitoring. Adaptive cruise control, front parking sensors, a 360-degree camera, and lane keeping becomes standard on the Plus trim, and then Ultimate gets a head-up display on top of that. The 2023 Volvo S60 starts at $42,000 if we're talking about the gas-powered or mild hybrid version. If we're looking at the Recharge, which we've seen today, the plug-in hybrid, that starts at $51,590, so just under $10,000 more expensive. And that's obviously a hefty chunk of change, but if you're buying new and if you qualify for it, because the car now does, you can factor in the $7,500 EV tax credit. Suddenly, you're looking at all that extra value and that extra powertrain technology for a quarter of the expense. For the car we've seen today, it's important to note that the Black Edition costs an extra $1,600 on the Ultimate trim, more if you're adding it to the Plus trim, and the Bowers & Wilkins stereo system costs an extra $3,200. So how does this compare to the competition? Well, the gas-powered S60, we're probably looking for competitors at the Audi A4, the BMW 3 Series, and the Mercedes-Benz C-Class. But this is a little bit different, right? And not just because it's Swedish. The Volvo is subtler. So if you take, for example, the 3 Series, that really feels like it's going after people who say they want a driver's car. This feels a little bit more like it's about luxury with the muscle to back it up. It's sophisticated, but it's still powerful. If we're gonna get specific to the S60 Recharge, that doesn't really have a lot of direct competitors because this is the only plug-in hybrid out of the bunch, and that makes it a great opportunity for getting your feet wet with electrification. Like a lot of EV manufacturers, Volvo is providing support for their customers to help them transition into electrified power. They're doing that in the form of partnerships with ChargePoint and Starbucks for public charging and with Qmerit for home charger installation. So do be aware that you're going to have that kind of support from Volvo if you're interested in this. And then it's also important to note too that a plug-in hybrid is not the same thing as a full EV. So if you've got range anxiety, if you're worried about long road trips, something like this might be a really good choice. Yes, you're gonna ding your gas mileage if you're hauling around that battery without a charge, but you know you're always gonna be able to find a gas station. That's my take on the 2023 Volvo S60 Recharge. I'm interested to hear what you think, so please let us know in the comments. Please do make sure you're subscribed to this channel and check back soon, because we will be driving something else next week.